Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Ultrasphere TCG, and you're watching part 7 of the guide to playing and understanding the Ultrasphere. And today we will be covering damage calculations. I think most of the time, figuring out damage is not that difficult, but there are several factors that can go into it. So, here is a skill card as an example. If we look down here, the total damage done would be equal to the user's magic plus 7 minus the target's magic resistance. So if your magic stat was 5 and the defender's magic stat was, or resistance stat was 2, then the total damage done would be 10. Simple, right? Well, it can get a little more complex when we factor in masteries and abilities and bonus damage. So, here is the official order of operations for calculating damage in the Ultrasphere. I know it looks like a lot. It's damage equals offensive plus base plus mastery, plus ability minus defensive times mastery plus bonus. Now I'm going to go through what each of those variables mean. So first off, damage, it's the total damage done after everything is calculated. Offensive. This is a stat taken from whoever the skill's user is, and it is usually the attacker magic stat. On our example, the offensive stat would be magic, right there. Okay, base. Skills will often add a flat number to the damage, and that's what the base is considered. And bases also appear in the parentheses on skills, so the plus 7 right here would be the base. Okay. Now, abilities. After we do the stuff in the parentheses, we factor in abilities. If an ability grants damage, this is where it's factored in. So for example, we had the ability Magic Potentiation attached. It reads, this unit's magic damage skills gain 3 damage, but this unit's basic attacks lose 3 damage. We're going to focus on the first part of that. So if we had Magic Potentiation attached and we used a magic damage skill, we would gain 3 damage, and we would apply that right after we do the stuff in the parentheses. Okay, defensive. This is a stat taken from whoever the target of the damage is, and this is usually defense or resistance, and it would be located outside the parentheses. So on our example, the minus target res is the defensive. Okay, then after we do that, we finally factor in the masteries. So, mastery weaknesses and resistances are applied at this point. Remember, contestants take double damage from masteries they are weak to and take half damage from masteries they resist. So, for example, I have Maisie here. Quick note, the format of these contestant cards actually look different in the updated set. I don't actually have a physical example of the new cards yet. Just know there have been some changes, especially to the weaknesses and resistances. But I know for a fact Maisie is still weak to fire, so that's why I'm using her as an example. Okay, back to masteries. Weaknesses and resistances. If we used Infernal Edge against Maisie, who is weak to fire, she would take double damage from that. And if she resisted fire, then she would take half damage from it. Okay. Finally, the final part of the formula is bonus damage. Any bonus damage is tacked on at the end. So for example, if we had a skill like Assassination, it says this unit does 3 bonus damage to targets with 12 HP or less. So if we had that 3 bonus damage, it would be tacked on at the very end after everything else is calculated, and because it's tacked on at the end like that, it is guaranteed damage. So even if everything else came out to equaling 0 damage, if you had that 3 bonus damage on your attack, then you would be guaranteed to do 3 damage. Even if everything else is 0, you would always be doing at least 3 damage. Okay, so that's what bonus damage is, that's how it works, and that is the end of the formula. Switching the placement of those variables actually changes the damage output, so I had to make the order official, and it looks complex, but I just had to do it, so there wouldn't be any debates over how to calculate the damage. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.